Coming up next on Hooten's Arkansas football, highlights from the 7th week of the high school season. We've got video of the big upsets, the blowouts, and the fantastic finishes. Hold on, Hooten's Arkansas football is next.
Now, Arkansas's most watched sports show, Hooten's Arkansas football.
From Faulkner County to Foreman, Arkansas, no one covers the state like Hooten's Arkansas football, and coming up in the next 30 minutes, we have highlights from all across our state, all the way from Faulkner County to Foreman and a lot of places in between. In the next half hour, we'll show you highlights from the 6th week of the high school season, hard-hitting highlights. We've got post-game interviews, pre-game pep talks, and of course, some of the best teams in action from the 6th week of the high school season. And tonight, we will begin on Hooten's Arkansas football with Class 5A highlights. And our Class 5A highlights are brought to you by My Bank, First Security Bank Corp. Heavy rains in Bryant all day Friday had the visitors' dressing room flooded. They were trying to pump it out of there to let Little Rock Central get dressed. The Tigers came out pumped up. Going the distance on their first drive and scoring with just 3 minutes into the game, Clark Irwin got it on the quarterback sneak, but Bryant would battle back. Anthony Mass goes to the end zone. He's got Richie Wood just behind Stuart Frakes in the end zone. That was the first touchdown Central had given up all year. It cut the Tiger lead to 7-6. A little bit later, it's more Anthony Mass magic. He's just a junior. Somehow, his pass deflects right into the hands of Richie Wood. Another great catch. A little bit later, it's the same combo. Mass to Wood. Another great catch. One-handed touchdown reception. And Bryant is leading the #1 team in the state. But Little Rock Central had won 19 in a row, and they would rally to take the lead in the 4th quarter. But Bryant bowed up and scored on 4th down with just 6 seconds left to snap Central's winning streak. Final score, Hornets 22, Central 19. At North Little Rock, the Charging Wildcats trying to win their 5th game of the season, playing host to Conway. Quarterback Josh Dixon pump fakes, goes up top. Fred McElway's got it, 65-yard touchdown. And just like that, North Little Rock was up 7-0. A little bit later, it's Dixon. A chance for another touchdown, but he misfires into the end zone. North Little Rock would have to settle for the field goal. They were up 10-0 at halftime, and that would be more than enough. Conway, which is scoring fewer than 10 points per game, tries the forward pass. It's picked off, and North Little Rock is sitting in sole possession of first place in the 5A Central. Final score, Charging Wildcats 16, Conway 0. The Sylvan Hills Bears moving up to Class 5A this year and undefeated, looking for their 6th win of the year Friday against Jacksonville. It was 8-2 in the 2nd quarter, but Jacksonville's LeVar Neely with the interception. He makes big plays every week for the Red Devils. But on Sylvan Hills' next possession, it's Arthur Cooley. He doesn't misfire this time, finds Kevin Hubbard for the touchdown. That puts Sylvan Hills up 15-2. Buckwheat and the Bear faithful love it. Sylvan Hills is 6-0 and on top of the 5A East. Final score, Bears 22, Jacksonville 2. Pine Bluff Zebras won their first game last week and looking to make it 2 in a row against crosstown rival Watson Chapel. Lots of water, that didn't slow down Zebras. Sophomore running back Eric Wallace, though, getting some tough yardage into the red zone, and a couple of plays later, Wallace would finish the drive with a short touchdown. That put Pine Bluff up, and the Z's are now in a 4-way tie for 2nd place in the crazy 5A South. Final score, Pine Bluff 14, Chapel 6. Now we head for Northwest Arkansas at Springdale, Gerald Williams Stadium. The Bulldogs playing host to Russellville, and the Cyclones looking tough early. 64-yard pass from Eli Craner to Lamonte Payne, but Springdale's defense would step up. The option pitch is on the ground, and the Red Dogs recover. Matt Clinkscale breaking off the 28-yard run. That gets Springdale inside the Cyclone 5. Mitch Mustaine hits Drake Taylor to complete the drive. Springdale was up 7-0. Zach Pruitt, he works out, and it shows here. He gets the interception, running with it, takes it 37 yards the other way. That gives Springdale the ball, and that means it's Mustaine time. Mitch goes to the air, finding Ben Cleveland for a 39-yard touchdown. Springdale was up 14-0, and later, Mustaine would use his legs down to the 19, and 3 plays later, Mustaine would go back to the air. Aaron Davis, 4-yard touchdown play. Final score, Springdale 38, Russellville 0. Up at Rogers, the Mounties had a pretty tough week, losing their starting quarterback Johnny Brewer. But on Friday night, all eyes were on his replacement, Cade Caton, as the Mounties took on Southside. And the Rebels would strike first. Arkansas has already offered this guy a scholarship. Slick Shelley, he scores from 12 yards out. That gives Southside a 7-0 lead. But Rogers would take over from there. Cade Caton hits Tyler Brown for the touchdown. It's tied up at 7. Judd Galbraith. Galbraith picks it off and takes it back after the incredible hit. And Rogers would take advantage too, as Caton goes 15 yards for another Rogers touchdown. And a little bit later, Caton rolls out to buy a little time, and he can't believe his eyes. Jake Curtis, 74 yards. Final score, Rogers 45, Fort Smith Southside 41. And here's Hooten's Arkansas football Class 5A rankings. Springdale is the new #1 team. The Tigers dropped to #2. A year ago, Central's defense barely let Bryant get a snap off. Friday night, the Tiger D had trouble getting any pressure on Bryant's quarterback. Northside is undefeated, as is Sylvan Hills, and West Memphis, which always finishes strong, put the mercy rule on Searcy. North Little Rock shut out Conway and is in sole possession of leading the 5A Central, but the charging Wildcats must face Bryant and Little Rock Central still, and will likely face a serious test at Little Rock Catholic. Bryant scored the big upset Friday night, but one win does not make a season, and Rogers is still in the playoff hunt, as is Fayetteville and Jonesboro. El Dorado was not pretty, but beat Sheridan on Friday night. The Wildcats are followed by Cabot, Texarkana, Southside, and Catholic. Lake Hamilton beat Benton a week ago, but it lost to Camden Fairview on Friday night. Russellville has lost 4 straight. Van Buren is 19, followed by Pine Bluff, which has won 2 in a row. Then it's Mountain Home, Camden Fairview, Bentonville, Conway, and Jacksonville.
Now, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by Sonic.
Life is full of half-used ideas, half-used opportunities, unexecuted resolutions. The word tomorrow is an excuse for the lazy and a refuge for those that are incompetent. Tomorrow never comes. Now we're going to leave this room tonight and we're in attack mode. Everything that we do is attack mode. We're going to attack. We're going to force the issue. We're going to try to make something happen.
Siloam Springs first-year coach Billy Dawson getting his undefeated Panthers ready at Greenbrier. First play of the game. Siloam Springs junior quarterback Chase Pittman goes long, but Greenbrier's Josh Camden is there for the nice interception. Nice play by Josh as he goes high for the Oski, and Greenbrier will get going. Junior quarterback Nick Maxfield fires it hard down the middle to David Bradley. The Panthers were fired up. Maxfield can run it too. He'll take off around the right end and right at you. That would set up a Greenbrier touchdown. Maxfield with the quick toss to Blake Gaither, and Greenbrier was up 7-0 and thinking upset. But Siloam Springs would answer with authority. A bruising 66-yard drive. Larry Sellers, he had 3 carries for 51 yards on the march. Nice run by Sellers before Pittman would take the snap and pick his way through Greenbrier's defense. That tied it up at 7. Then Siloam Springs' defense makes the big play. Watch Maxfield's pass. It's tipped at the line by Matt Yoka, intercepted by Kyle Huffman, and Siloam Springs is back in business. Pittman showing he can throw it to a big tight end too. Trent McCord catches it, bruises Greenbrier on his way down. That will set up Sellers for Siloam's second score of the night. And the Panthers are 6-0 with Bologna coming to Northwest Arkansas next. Final score, Siloam Springs' Superheroes 44, Greenbrier 10. No team has been able to slow down Darren McFadden this year. Whitehall, hoping the soggy field might help them on Friday night. The Bulldogs put the pressure on early. Justin Huggins hits Josh Stringer for the touchdown. Whitehall was up 7-0, but here he comes. Darren McFadden around the end. Somehow, he's going to stay in bounds and will walk into the end zone. He would finish with 195 yards on the night. In the second quarter, there's McFadden. This time, he'll catch Ashton Johnston's perfect pass and takes it to the house. That put Oak Grove up 14-7. A little bit later, Oak Grove's James Mitchell shows that McFadden's not the only good back in the Hornets' nest, and Oak Grove is for real. Final score, Hornets 40, Whitehall 15. At Bologna, the young ladies were in high heels with heavy rain on homecoming night against Huntsville. But Bologna doesn't mind the rain as much as many teams. The Eagles like to keep it on the ground, and boy, they do it well. Bologna led Huntsville 24-0 in the third quarter, and we're looking to add to it after senior quarterback Nick Calger's punishing run around the end. Calger would help push the pile ahead. Jake Gotcher gets to the one. That would set up Calger for a 1-yard sneak to put Bologna up 30-0. The Eagles would invoke the mercy rule on Huntsville in the fourth quarter and then just keep it on the ground the rest of the night to set up a showdown next week at Siloam Springs. Final score, Bologna 38, Huntsville 7.
It'll be a tough game, and it's in Siloam, so it's going to be a long drive. We got to get prepared for them.
I think we're kind of we're still finding our identity, you know, but you know, we've moved some kids around, and I think they're starting to get settled in now to what we're doing defensively, and hopefully we'll play real well from here on out.
We're still eyeballing the rock, so to speak. We still believe we're good enough. We still believe we're better than any team in the state, and we're going to start to get on a roll. We're going to use this, and we're just going to snowball it into the playoffs.
And Hooten's Arkansas football Class 4A rankings stayed the same as a week ago, at least the top 10, no changes. Alma still unbeaten and unchallenged. Robinson, number 2. Batesville is undefeated. The Pioneers haven't lost since the first round of the 2002 playoffs. Greenwood's number 4, followed by Bologna. Theirs win. They will battle Batesville next week for the 4A East title. Siloam Springs has Bologna coming to town. There's West Helena and Oak Grove. The Hornets are at West Helena next week for control of the 4A Southeast Conference. Monticello starts the second 10. The Billies are 5-1. Then it's Stuttgart. Harrison's number 13. The Goblins are down to their third-team quarterback and probably won't make the playoffs. Crossett's number 14, and Morrilton drops to 15. Little Rock Fair has won 3 straight games in a weak 4A Southwest Conference. Whitehall has lost 3 straight games after starting the season 3-0. Magnolia's number 21. The Panthers have won consecutive games and might make the playoffs. Mills, BB, Hot Springs, Lakeside, and Malvern round out the top 25.
Now, the United States Marines Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Riding close to an A average, one of the leaders on the football field for the Greenbrier Panthers, the senior Trevor Segrist.
Trevor lines up both at wide receiver and at defensive back, but it's the secondary where he likes to lead the charge.
Defensive back's a lot more fun. You get to hit people. I mean, I run the whole defense. You're the last guy back there saving touchdowns. Awesome.
Congratulations to Trevor Segrist, the Marine Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football. Class 3A highlights are next.
Now, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by Big Red Fina.
And we begin our Class 3A highlights in Jefferson County. Fordyce visiting Dollarway, a battle of unbeaten teams in 8 AAA play. Fordyce would strike first. Tim Spears escaping from the pile, 55 yards down the sidelines for the touchdown. That put the Redbugs up 7-0. Dollarway comes back though, doing it on the ground. That's Cody Burns, and look at the effort. Finally, 5 Fordyce defenders will get him down. A couple of plays later, it's Burns torching Fordyce again. He would finish with 200 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and Dollarway is legit. Final score, Cardinals 28, Fordyce Redbugs 15. Pulaski Academy and Lone Oak both battling for playoff positioning in the 6 AAA, but neither looking real sharp early on until Pulaski Academy sophomore quarterback Stephen Lutz hits Brent Hanks for his second touchdown of the year and put PA up 8-0 on their next possession. The Bruins go to their bag of tricks. Stephen Newell takes the direct snap, and he finds the state's leading receiver, Aaron Langford. In his first season to play football, his 6th touchdown of the year. PA was up 22-0 at halftime. Final score, Bruins 31, Lone Oak 13. Up in Springdale, Shallow Christian playing host to the Gentry Pioneers Friday night, looking to stay on top of the 1 AAA standings, and it wouldn't be a problem for Shallow. St. quarterback Matt Simpson, he completed 24 of 32 passes for 490 yards and 6 touchdowns. Simpson's favorite targets were Patrick Ryan and Crosby Tuck. Those two combined for 362 yards receiving and 4 touchdowns. Simpson can also run it. He's just a sophomore. He sprints to the corner of the end zone, and the Saints are within reach of their first ever 1 AAA conference championship. Final score, number 13, Shallow Christian 50, Gentry 24. And we wrap up our soggy AAA segment with exclusive coverage from Nashville. Ashdown was trying to make it 4 in a row over the Strappers, and the Panthers led it 12-0 midway through the fourth quarter. Thanks to senior running back Courtney Smith, he had a team-high 81 yards, but then a flood of big plays turned things around for Nashville. Sophomore quarterback A.J. Whitmore, this guy's a dandy. He had Zach Whitten for a big game. Whitmore would complete 5 passes Friday night. All came in the final 7 minutes. A fantastic finish at Nashville. Whitmore finds Whitten again, and the Strappers are in the red zone. Senior Samuel Fellows would cap the drive, but Ashdown still led it 12-7. But disaster would strike. The Panthers fumbled, and Nashville gets the ball back. Moving with time running out. Whitmore, he rushed for 85 yards, 10 right there. Then the cool sophomore buys time before finding Mike Wilson, and Nashville is down at the 15-yard line with 39 seconds left. Ashdown with its back to the wall, and here comes Whitmore again. He hits Whitten just inside the pylon for the game-winning score. What a game. Undefeated Nashville rallies and ends Ashdown's run to sit atop the 7 AAA standings. Final score, Nashville 15, Ashdown 12.
Listen up! Listen up! Well, I feel awful sorry for them people thought they need to go home tonight because they missed it.
For a little while, I thought it was going to slip away from us, but we just held our heads up and kept playing hard.
Our seniors just gave us a good talk ahead of time and kept us up. I got down on myself a little bit without that senior group. I don't know what I would have done.
And here is Hooten's Arkansas football Class 3A rankings brought to you by the Arkansas Army National Guard. Central Arkansas Christian quarterback Jesse Gates has had a hand in 12 touchdowns the past couple of weeks. He's phenomenal. Boonville's number 2 and PA is 3. The Bruins have won 4 in a row. Rivercrest is number 4 and Nashville's up to 5. Then it's Atkins and Ashdown. Dollarway is 5-1 and in control of the AAA race. Warren has given up just 20 points the past 2 weeks. Remember, Bo Embry told us this summer it could be his best defense yet at Warren. Harrisburg is undefeated. The Hornets struggled to beat Mariana on Friday. Ozark starts the second 10. They're Star City and Shiloh Christian. Hoxie is 5-1 and on top of the 2 AAA after beating Mountain View. Osceola has won back-to-back games and will play host to Rivercrest next week. Newport 16, followed by the Cobras, the Jackrabbits, Prairie Grove, and Green Forest. Green Forest is 6-0 and plays host to Shiloh next week for the 1 AAA Conference Championship. The Redbugs are 21, followed by the Sand Blizzards and Mountain View, which has lost 2 games by a combined 10 points this season. Dover and Pocahontas round out the top 25.
Now the ConocoPhillips Spirit Student of the Week.
Cheering on the Bauxite Miners looks like too much fun for Ashton Willis to miss out on it during her senior year.
Watching all my friends and how they get the crowd going, it just excited me, so I thought it'd be fun to be a part of it too.
Ashton is now a proud member of the minor dance team, plus plays basketball for Bauxite and is involved in many other activities at the school and church. But most importantly, she is a top classroom performer.
I know I have to work hard to succeed, and I want to be able to go somewhere, so I just find my time and manage it. I want to go to college, and I want to be a pharmacist, so I want to make something out of myself.
Nominations for the ConocoPhillips Spirit Student of the Week are welcomed and can be made by logging on to Hootens.com or by stopping in ConocoPhillips stations of Arkansas.
Coming up next, more of Hooten's Arkansas football. Class 2A highlights are next.
Now, more of Hooten's Arkansas football, brought to you by State Farm.
The one thing I want you to do tonight, you remember back 5 games ago when you come out and played with that enthusiasm the first ball game? That's what I want on game 6 right here tonight.
Coach David Bennett's and the Derricks Outlaws visiting Foreman Friday night, looking to knock off the Gators. Hey, when you know you got a bunch of outlaws in town, who you gonna call? The Cops, of course, and Foreman's finest escorted their hungry Gators into the swamp just before game time, and Derrick's Outlaws were bad boys Friday night. They break through, blocked the punt on the opening possession, and Derrick's would take over at the Foreman 9-yard line. But the Gators would keep Derrick's out of the end zone, and the Outlaws would have to settle for a 29-yard field goal by Lance Stone that put Derrick's up 3-0. Foreman would try to counter with elusive sophomore Jarvaria Forbes. A little bit later, it's senior Michael Adcock getting loose for a big gain. Adcock entered the game with 317 yards rushing. Another good night for him. And 7 plays later, Forbes would try to set up the middle screen, but Caleb Harper gets the theft for Derricks, and that would end Foreman's drive. And Derricks Outlaws get out of Foreman with an impressive win. Final score, undefeated Derricks 37, Foreman 14. And we go from Foreman over to Mineral Springs, where the new head coach there is Gary Segrist, good fella. His Green Hornets taking on winless Falk. After a scoreless first half, Falk would open the third quarter, turning to senior Nathan Williams. Nathan carried 7 times on a 9-play scoring drive. He would cap it by going 11 yards, dragging defenders into the end zone. Nathan Williams scores. And on the 2-point conversion, who else? Williams ramming it in. Falk led 8-0, but Mineral Springs would come right back. Sophomore sensation Cedric Smith. But Smith and the Hornets never got loose Friday night, and Falk holds on for the shutout. Final score, Panthers 8, Mineral Springs 0. And here is Hooten's Arkansas Football Class 2A rankings, brought to you by the Arkansas Army National Guard. It starts with Rising. The Wildcats destroyed Dermont 41-0 and are 6-0. Charleston moves up to number 2 with an easy victory over Hackett. The Tigers now have 2 weeks to get ready for Hartford. Our new number 3 team is Palestine Wheatley. The Patriots took advantage of 4 Barton turnovers Friday night to beat the Bears for the first time ever. Palestine Wheatley has already beaten Harding Academy and is officially a state title contender. There's East Point County and Barton down to number 5. Harding holds at number 6 after crushing Cross County 41-13 in a non-conference game. Undefeated Mountainburg, Derricks, and Hazen, followed by number 10 Rebecca, which manhandled Magnet Cove 55-13. The second 10 starts with Junction City, which got past Bearden 20-14 Friday night. Perry Williams ran for 140 yards, but left the game in the fourth quarter with an injury that could hurt Junction City down the stretch. Greenland is number 12, followed by Spring Hill. Caleb Askew ran for 103 yards and a touchdown as Spring Hill kept pace with Derricks atop the 7AA West standings. Then it's Hughes and Bearden. 5-1 Arkansas Baptist continues to climb in the rankings. Mount Ida dropped far a week ago and rose fast Friday night, knocking off Jesseville 21-13 in a key 5AA game. Perryville stays at number 19 despite losing to Hazen 36-14. Foreman remains at 21, followed by Danville. The Little Johns shut out a scrappy Magazine team Friday night. There's Cross County and Gurdon. Desart makes its top 25 debut after slipping by number 56 Clarendon Friday night. Up next for Desart, Palestine Wheatley. And for this week's State Farm Play of the Week, we will head back down to Southwest Arkansas on the hill at Nashville. The Scrappers trailing 12-7 with 33 seconds left when quarterback A.J. Whitmore gets out of the pocket and finds Zach Winton in the right corner of the end zone. And Nashville storms back to beat Ashdown for the first time in 3 years, thanks to the heroics of A.J. Whitmore and Zach Winton. And that is our State Farm Play of the Week. Thanks again for watching Hooten's Arkansas Football tonight. We look forward to seeing you again next week at the same time right here when we'll have highlights from the 7th week of the high school football season. And that's coming up next week right here, same time, same place. It's Hooten's Arkansas Football.
You've been watching Arkansas's most watched sports show, Hooten's Arkansas Football.